Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this which will be our next episode of Combat Zone Wrestling. So as you can see there by the calendar, we do have our next pay-per-view next week, which will be the best of the best pay-per-view. That is going to stretch across sort of 3 or 4 days, so this will be the last weekly show before then. So let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you tonight. We know that Crowe, aka Sami Callihan, and Drake Younger will be taking on Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray Dudley for the Tag Team Championships at the best of the best pay-per-view. Tonight they get a chance to build some more momentum as they take on Super Crazy and Tajiri. Dean Ambrose, the Combat Zone Wrestling Champion, will take on the returning Rhino. Ricochet will take on Biff Busick. Sick Nick Mondo will take on Jimmy Havoc in a one-on-one match. And our main event is going to be Tommy Dreamer versus Terry Funk. And for a change, this is going to be a singles match rather than an Extreme Rules match. So without further ado, let's get straight into our opening tag team match. So as I said, our first match is going to be Tajiri and Super Crazy taking on the tag team #1 contenders, Sami Callihan and Drake Younger. So here we go, we're going to start off with Super Crazy and Sami Callihan in the ring. And you guys have no idea how glad I am to finally get this match underway. It's taken me 5 attempts for the PlayStation to load this match. It's not happy with this one at all. But finally we're here. A chance here for Sami Callihan and Drake Younger to build that last bit of momentum they need going into the best of the best pay-per-view as they take on the Dudley Boys for them Combat Zone Wrestling Tag Team Championships. And it's one thing that has been said to me a couple of times by Jay as well, but I feel the same way. It'd be great if on next year's game, on the 2K16 game, if we can get the triple threat tag team matches back, especially the gimmick matches such as the TLC matches, the ladder matches. They were great. The triple threat tag team, considering one of the most iconic matches in WWE's history, the 2 TLC matches between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys, it would just make so much sense to have that match back available. But at the moment we're stuck to singles tag team defenses, so that's what we'll go with. There's not a lot of teams in these universe modes anyway, so it's probably best we give them one at a time chances rather than trying to throw them all at the same time. And as I said, next week is the best of the best pay-per-view. We are going to be borrowing some guys from other rosters as well to be involved in that. It is a tournament style. It's a bit like the Tournament of Death pay-per-view I did a few weeks back, if you've seen that. We're going to do, as they do in real Combat Zone Wrestling, we'll be doing fatal 4-way matches, elimination. The winners of the elimination matches go through to the final. Here we're going to have quite a few visitors. We also know that Drake Younger over that weekend will get his opportunity at the Global Force Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Championship against Kenny Omega. Remember, Drake, if you haven't seen it, he won the Best of the Super Juniors tournament in the Global Force Wrestling brand a few weeks back. And yeah, he's going to get his opportunity to cash in his prize against Kenny Omega next week. Also, we know the Young Bucks are going to be visiting as well from Global Force Wrestling, so we've got a real treat for you this weekend. Next weekend, sorry. This weekend we've got the Attitude Era's SummerSlam, so be sure to check that one out as well. Super Crazy doing well here, keeping Drake grounded. Going for some high-flying springboard splash, but Drake rolls out the way. Super Crazy takes the brunt of the mat in the face. Drake now rolls out the ring, slides back in, gained himself a little bit of space there for a second, and in comes Tajiri, and in comes Sami Callihan. Also known, of course, now as Crowe in NXT. But I did have him named as Crowe originally, but I just keep calling him Sami because that's just how I remember him. I've watched him a lot in indie wrestling, and I'm quite a while behind on the old NXT at the moment. As it looks like we saw Tajiri with a red mist, and now he's taking Callihan out with these kicks. Super Crazy has taken Drake Younger. No, Drake Younger seems to be in control of Super Crazy out there. Tajiri with a pin, but it's a rope break. And Callihan looked in some problems there. But Drake Younger was alive to it. And even though, well, Sami Callihan was alive to it as well, as he draped his leg out the rope for the rope break. And now Callihan going for the pin. Super Crazy was out of position. He's around the right-hand side of the ring here at the moment, I believe, with Drake Younger. Belly to belly by Callihan. Super Crazy finally making his way back up to his position as Callihan brings in Drake Younger. Great monkey flip there by Tajiri. Tajiri now pulls Drake Younger into the centre of the ring. Going to go for the pin. 1, 2. Callihan's there, breaks it up. It's the sort of teamwork this team's going to need when they face the Dudley Boys next week. Remember, the Dudley Boys won those tag team champions at our last pay-per-view, which was the Tournament of Death pay-per-view. They defeated the champions at the time, the Wyatt family, in a tables elimination match. And they've had them belts ever since. They did defend them once a couple of weeks back against RVD and Sabu in what seemed to be quite a quick and easy defense for them. Drake and Sami teamed up together for the first time over in Global Force Wrestling at the Best of the Super Juniors week. They defeated the team of David Richards and Kyle O'Reilly. They've teamed up in here in the Combat Zone Wrestling for the last 2 weeks now. The first week they teamed up together, they defeated the Nasty Boys, and it was last week when they defeated RVD and Sabu, which really pushed them forward, and I think that could be all. I think Drake Young has tapped out to Tajiri, and he has. Super Crazy took out Sami Callihan. Callihan tried to break the hold, but Tajiri's grip was far too hard. And there was the great Hurricanrana Powerbomb combination. These were the kicks by Tajiri, which he was hoping to finish the match off, but he left Callihan underneath the ring. This was a pin on Drake a bit earlier, only for the 2 count though. And as you see, the camel clutch locked in. Sami tried to break it, but Tajiri just had the grip, and then Super Crazy takes out Sami Callihan. And this impromptu team of Super Crazy and Tajiri here defeat the tag team #1 contenders Drake Younger and Sami Callihan. I think we could have ourselves a new tag team here in the Universe mode. They looked very effective together. Super Crazy, I must admit, has been one of the most informed guys in this Combat Zone Wrestling roster. So I'm starting to think, you know, guys, that this is definitely a tag team we should move forward with in the future. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, but I'm thinking Super Crazy and Tajiri are a team to be reckoned with. So match number 2, we'll see Dean Ambrose, the current Combat Zone Wrestling champion, take on Rhino in a non-titles match. And here we go. Now, Rhino is returning here. He's been away from Combat Zone Wrestling for quite a while. He did start the Universe mode here, and then he moved across to Ring of Honor. He did come back to join the roster for the Tournament of Death pay-per-view, however, was unsuccessful. And now he makes his return, and what a return it is, taking on the current Combat Zone Wrestling champion, knowing that a victory here could really thrust him into the title picture. Remember, Biff Busick is sort of 95% sure to get that championship match at the Best of the Best. However, there's also the possibility, I know it's been something that's been mentioned to me by Jay again in the comment section, that he would like to maybe see a multi-man match, maybe including Ricochet. And depending on what Rhino does here, maybe Rhino could be involved in that match as well. Maybe we could have a fatal 4-way elimination for the Combat Zone Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Remember, Dean Ambrose has held this belt ever since the Universe mode started, so it would be nice to have a fresh face at the top of the card. It might even give a chance for Ambrose to go back and work for WWE for a couple of months just to freshen it up. There's always obviously the chance that he could come back here for a few months again afterwards, but it was great to have a little shufty around, a bit of a freshen up, and some new feuds. Of course, Dean has already defended his championship. He's only defended it twice, actually, since the Universe mode started. He defended it twice at the Tournament of Death pay-per-view. Defended it on the first day against Bray Wyatt, and then on the second day against the surprise debut of Biff Busick. So, yeah, he's be looking to get another title defense at the Best of the Best pay-per-view. And I'm still not 100% sure if it's going to be I think it's going to be a 3-day pay-per-view, so you should have an upload on Friday, an upload on Saturday, and an upload on Sunday. So maybe Ambrose will defend his championship more than once. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Back elbow by Ambrose there on Rhino. Of course, we also know we need to identify #1 contender for Jerry Lynn's Wired Championship as well. He's not defended that belt since the last pay-per-view. He won it very early on in the Universe mode. It was RVD who started the Universe mode as the champion. Jerry Lynn won that belt very early on and then managed to defend it in a fatal 4-way ladder match against RVD, Sabu and Ricochet at the Tournament of Death pay-per-view. So against all the odds to defend his championship, but since then we've not seen him defend that belt once. So he'll definitely be defending it at least once at the Best of the Best. And there's Ambrose with that headlock driver, the Dirty Deeds. And I think this could be all. The returning Rhino is unsuccessful in his return. No, I am wrong. Rhino kicks out. So Rhino kicking out of the Dirty Deeds. Not many people have done that, especially in this universe mode. And there's a big clothesline by Rhino. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for anyone you'd like to see go for the Wired Championship at the Best of the Best pay-per-view weekend, let me know in the comment section below. It looks like Busick and Ricochet at least will be tied up for the World Championship picture. Of course, we do have RVD and Sabu both free, so maybe they could be involved in that picture again. We're also going to have an Ultraviolent Underground Championship match over that week as well. I'm thinking something that I mentioned in one of the videos beforehand, and Jay backed me up in the comments, seeing maybe the feud between Nick Mondo and Jimmy Havoc maybe engulf Masada, and we can go for an Ultraviolent Underground Championship title defense involving the three of them. So I think that's definitely a good idea. Maybe even a fourth member in that match as well. Maybe someone like maybe someone a bit more old school. Maybe someone like the Sandman or Raven. And of course, after this pay-per-view, we will have to reset some new feuds as well. So if you guys have any suggestions for feuds you would like to see in Combat Zone Wrestling, again, knock them down in the comments below. Because I don't get a lot of comments at all, so I do reply to all of them. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Ambrose now whips Rhino into this near side corner. Rhino avoids the running forearm though, and I don't know how Rhino's still going after being caught with that Dirty Deeds early on, but he seems to be back with it now. There's a big power slam. Went for the boot to the face of Ambrose, but Ambrose avoided it and catches Rhino with a clothesline. And almost a free count again for Ambrose. Ambrose now pull Rhino towards the... I don't know where he's going. There he goes. Against the ropes, and Rhino just throws Ambrose over the top. Ambrose manages to hold on. And as Rhino tries to take Ambrose off the apron, Ambrose yanks down that top rope and Rhino goes down to the ground. But Rhino reversing, catching Ambrose with that power slam on the outside. Rhino throws Ambrose in. And a big chop across the chest and a boot to the side of the head. Ambrose, though, coming back for more on the outside, and Rhino catches him with a running bulldog. Now Rhino throwing Ambrose back into the ring with some aggression. Rhino takes a couple of seconds just to get his head back, but maybe those 2 seconds are a bit too long as Ambrose is back to his feet and catches Rhino, and Rhino again just throwing Ambrose straight over the top rope, and Ambrose lands hard on the outside. Of course, for those of you who don't know, Dean Ambrose was quite a prominent member of the Combat Zone Wrestling roster before he joined WWE. That's in real life, of course. He was known as John Moxley. And I think I've said this in one of my other videos, but I've heard, I'm not 100% sure this is true, but I've heard he always has to wear shirts and these sort of vests and everything like that because he has a significant amount of scars on his back from barbed wire as he hits a second Dirty Deeds on Rhino. Now surely this time there's no way Rhino's getting back up to fight again. 1, 2. It's a 2 count. Rhino's kicked out again. Rhino's kicked out from Dean Ambrose's finisher twice now. Rhino just slamming Ambrose across the ring. And maybe Rhino is really starting to prove that he should be involved in this Combat Zone Wrestling Championship match. At the Best of the Best pay-per-view, he hits the power driver. Going for a pin of his own. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. What's it going to take for one of these two guys? It could be this. As Rhino with that spinning cutter. And now is Ambrose going to be down and out? 1, 2. And no, Ambrose kicks out of Rhino's finishing maneuver. Oh my word, what's it going to take in this match? Rhino slamming Ambrose's arm into the ring. Gonna go for a pin again. 1. Only a 1 count now. Ambrose kicking out with some aggression. Throws Rhino into that corner. Went to follow up with a running forearm, but avoiding it. Rhino now with a bear hug, submission hold. But Ambrose manages to grab that top rope, which is good for him, because that submission hold by Rhino would probably be a bit too much, as Rhino now locks in the standing Kimura lock on Ambrose, but Ambrose reverses with that punch to the stomach. And now Ambrose with an armbar of his own. Ambrose has that armbar locked in, but he releases the hold. Brings Rhino back up to his feet. There's the scoop slam. Followed up by that running elbow drop. Gonna go for the pin straight from that. 1, 2. Still only a 2 count. How is Rhino going on? Ambrose now slamming Rhino's face. Sorry, vice versa. Rhino throwing Ambrose's face into the mat. Then coming down right on top of him, those double arms. And there it is again. It is actually an elbow to the centre of the back if you look at where it lands. Ambrose with that armbar just yanking Rhino down face first into the mat. Dean Ambrose. Again. Rhino catches him. Ambrose has gone for that move a few times now. And now Rhino again going to take Ambrose off the apron. Ambrose manages to pull down that top rope, and Rhino collapses to the ground. And hopefully somebody's going to gore Michael Cole. That's my hope anyways. That's Rhino locking an armbar on the outside. Remember, this is a singles match. Pinfalls and submissions only count within the confines of the ring, so it's a bit of a strange one for Rhino to be going for that. Both guys back in the ring now. Referee's count was at 6. Ambrose is going to hit a third Dirty Deeds, and honest to God, there's no way that Rhino's getting up again, surely. 1, 2, and 3. Your winner here is your Combat Zone Wrestling Champion, Dean Ambrose. There's a lot of action in this one. This is a big spine buster on the outside. That's not going to do very well for Rhino's back. He's a big man, and crashing down on the that matting on the outside. It's not very thin matting. Sorry, it is very thin matting, sorry. Here's Rhino's Tornado Cutter, which I thought would have finished Ambrose off, but only kept him down for a 2. That was after the scoop slam and the elbow drop. I don't see why the replay just shows you bloody pins. It doesn't show you the bloody moves, does it? I want to see the Dirty Deeds. I want to see the big moves on the outside, the impact, not the pins afterwards. Anyway, Dean Ambrose is victorious again, showing that he is the man to beat here in Combat Zone Wrestling. However, Rhino didn't half put on a great show. It took 3 Dirty Deeds to keep him down. And yeah, like I said in the previous, like I said early on, it's been that long of a match, I realise it's the same match. Like I said, drop down in the comment section who you'd like to see fight Ambrose for the World Championship. I'm now leaning towards a fatal 4-way with Biff, Busick, Ricochet and Rhino. And match number 3 this evening will be Ricochet taking on Biff Busick. And here we go. I think I've made it clear in the past few weeks that I really like Ricochet. I think he's one of the top wrestlers in the world. He just has everything you could possibly want from a wrestler. And I'm hoping we can try and translate that in this universe mode. It's a great Tornado DDT by Ricochet. Now catches Busick in the headlock and turns him round. Catches him with a chop across the chest. Whoa, that was a long message. Great backbreaker, neckbreaker combination there by Ricochet. Of course, Ricochet is currently working for Lucha Underground as well, known as Prince Puma. That's where he spent most of his time at the moment, I think. He is the face of that company, and as I said, rightly so. He is an absolutely fantastic wrestler. He suits the suits the Mexican style very well. It also suits the Japanese style very well as well, because obviously, I think it was only a couple of years ago that Ricochet was only the third non-Japanese star to win the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it's something like that. And I think he also went on to win Pro Wrestling Guerrilla's Battle of Los Angeles the same year. So he's had a fantastic few years as Ricochet, and he is really deserving what he's getting. Oh, great Asai moonsault. I've not seen anyone in this game hit a springboard to the outside yet, and it had to be my favourite, didn't it? It had to be Ricochet that did it. Busick boot to the side of the head of Ricochet. And like I said in the last match, I'm pretty sure that both these guys are going to be involved in the Combat Zone Wrestling title picture at Best of the Best next week. So yeah, if you guys have any specific matches you'd like to see, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try and squeeze as many as I can in, obviously without contradicting what's already on the card. There's that neck breaker and back breaker combination again there by Ricochet. Drop kick to the back as well. Had Busick in the front chantry there, but Busick catches him and trips him. Ricochet fights way back up to his feet and catches that running forearm from Busick. Busick with that discus forearm now as well brings Ricochet back up to his feet. Ricochet catches Busick's foot and hits him with that spinning kick to the side of the head. Now the kick to the back of the arm as well brings Busick back up. And he has him locked in, and there's the underhook brainbuster. A move utilised by AJ Styles as well in Global Force Wrestling. He uses that as one of his finishing manoeuvres. And talking of finishing manoeuvres, Ricochet locks Busick in for that backdrop with a leg hooked bridge for the pin. No, Busick kicks out after two. Ricochet nearly picked up a quick victory there, and that would have given him a lot of confidence moving into this Best of the Best weekend next week. Of course, as I've already said, this is going to be the last weekly show before we hit that Best of the Best pay-per-view. So everyone really needs to make their cases known now. That's the words I'm looking for, cases. Big kick to the side of the head there by Ricochet. Pulling the fallen body of Busick into the ring. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Ricochet wins. That big kick to the side of the head must have knocked Biff Busick clean out. And Ricochet picks up the victory. Here's that underhook brainbuster. I'm surprised Busick got up after that, and then to get hit by this finisher maneuver as well. That backdrop with the leg hooked into the bridge and pin. That was only for a 2 count as well. But then it was this big kick which finished the whole match off, straight around the side of the head of Busick, and he was down and out. So, as I said, a great win here for Ricochet. He's done incredibly well since he joined this Combat Zone Wrestling roster. It wasn't too long ago. I think it was only just before the Tournament of Death pay-per-view. He's had a shot at the Wired Championship in that 4-way ladder match. Was unsuccessful. However, I'm really thinking that he should be going for the Combat Zone Wrestling Championship next Sunday. Yeah, as I've said, let me know what you guys think. Who should be facing Dean Ambrose in the description below. Not description, that's mine. The comment section below, that's yours. And yeah, like I say, we'll put it into action. And match number 4 is going to be the continuation of the feud between Sick Nick Mondo and Jimmy Havoc. And here we go. We have seen these two guys go at it for a few weeks now, but all their matches have taken place in the Extreme Rules matches, and we have had some very extreme action between the two of them. So it's nice to finally get a chance to see how good they are at just straight up wrestling. As I've already said earlier on, I think what's going to happen between these two is when they go at it at the Best of the Best pay-per-view, I'm thinking that it should involve Masada and it should be for the Ultraviolent Underground Championship. Thinking also that Jimmy Havoc should be involved in the Best of the Best tournament as well. As I said, we're going to have quite a few guys coming in from the other rosters to help make the tournament as good as it possibly can be, but of course we want to make sure there's a strong Combat Zone Wrestling tone in there as well. I don't think tone's the right word. Presence, that's the word I'm looking for. I'll make sure there's a strong Combat Zone Wrestling presence in the competition. I know I'll get it right eventually. Mondo brings Havoc back to his feet. Missed of a slap, and Havoc grabs Mondo. It's a great combination move there. A neck breaker, but also pulling the back down onto his knee as well. Almost like a neck breaker and a back breaker at the same time. Spinning heel kick there by Jimmy Havoc as well. Great backdrop. Great reversal there by Nick Mondo, just twisting the arm of Havoc, then bringing him straight in for that shoulder block. Havoc with the headlock now, or Havoc in the headlock, should we say. Nick Mondo grabs him and hits him with that backbreaker. Havoc stumbles back up to his feet, but Mondo is there, grabs the arm. Mondo again getting a hold of Jimmy Havoc. Slamming the face of Havoc into the... I'm getting my words tied up again. I keep doing this, getting people mixed up. I know who's who, my brain doesn't seem to want to know who's who. That's just a quick club as well. If you, club? That's not the right word, is it? Plug, that's the word I'm looking for. A quick plug. If you check the description below, you will find a link to all of the other brands I'm currently running in this universe mode. Of course, we do have the standard WWE brand on Mondays. We also run Global Force Wrestling, which is uploaded on Tuesday. Ring of Honor is uploaded on a Wednesday. We've got the Throwback Thursdays, which is the Retro roster. That's uploaded on a Thursday. We've got Attitude being uploaded on a Friday. And then, of course, Combat Zone Wrestling on a Saturday. We also run a pay-per-view every single Sunday as well, so be sure to check that out. I am uploading at least one video per day at the moment. I have been for the last 2 or 3 months on this. And I intend to keep doing that as well. I want to try and get ahead on this universe mode and hopefully get to the end of the calendar year at least, but I want to get to WrestleMania. So I will be trying to get a few weeks ahead, and when I do, as I did this weekend, I will upload a full week's worth of videos in one go. I couldn't use my laptop at all on Saturday because it was uploading videos from midday on Saturday through to about midday on Monday. It was completely tied up. My life at the moment just consists of work, then recording, editing, uploading. I could make my own shirt, couldn't I? Work, record, edit, repeat. It's not quite as catchy as Brock Lesnar's, but still. Drop toe hold there by Nick Mondo. Yeah, we do have for you this weekend will be the SummerSlam pay-per-view for the Attitude Era. Last week we had SummerSlam for the Retro Era as well. Of course, next week we've got the Combat Zone Wrestling Best of the Best pay-per-view, and then at the end of the end of the month on the game, I don't know when it will be IRL, probably be in a couple of weeks' time, we will have the SummerSlam for the current day roster. Yeah, so be sure to check that out. If you are enjoying as well, if you could hit the like button, it really does help me. I know it doesn't mean a hell of a lot to you guys just to press that little button, but it does really help my stats and everything like that as well. So if you could do that, that'd be great. As Jimmy Havoc has Mondo up on his shoulders. Death Valley driver. As he finished him off here. Pulls Mondo into the ring. It's going to go for the pin. One. Only a 1 count. And also, if you are enjoying these videos, if you could subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Because I have to keep so many subscribers to make sure that I can keep getting some of the benefits that I do. So if you do subscribe, that really does help me a lot. And of course, you get an update every time I upload a video as well. So it's a win-win situation, hopefully. As long as you guys are enjoying this. I hope you guys are enjoying this because it's absolutely killing me uploading all these bloody videos all the time. Now Mondo has Havoc up on his shoulders, but Havoc reverses. Catches Mondo with that execution style DDT. Now Havoc signaling for something. Mondo stumbles back up to his feet. Straight into the Lion's Den, and there's the big clothesline. The clothesline from Hale. Havoc going for the pin. 1, 2, and no. Nick Mondo kicks out. And we're having a hell of a night here for kicking out of finishing maneuvers, aren't we? We saw 4 in the match between Dean Ambrose and the other guy. Rhino, that's his name, Rhino. And we saw 1 in the last match as well, as Ricochet's backdrop with the leg hook was kicked out of as well. Both these guys just showing their sheer resilience. I honestly thought Havoc had that then. There's a great neck breaker there by Mondo. And now Mondo signaling for his finishing maneuver. Catches Havoc. Drops him face first with that sort of dragon style lift. Straight for the pin. 1, 2. And no. Jimmy Havoc kicks out now. These are two tough sons of bitches. Backdrop by Havoc. Makes his way onto the top rope. He went for a headbutt but completely missed it. Gravity is not that man's friend. Russian leg sweep now by Havoc. The two guys lock up. Mondo gets around the back and now locks in a crossface chicken wing submission hold on Havoc. Havoc's ring position is not too bad. He's not too far away from the ropes, but Havoc manages to fight his way out. And hoiks Mondo over the top. Havoc with that springboard crossbody. And now it's just some elbows across the rotator cuff and upper pectoral of Nick Mondo. Brings him back up to his feet. Now locking in a sleeper hold submission of his own, but Nick's ring positioning, I don't think he can quite bend his arm back enough to reach them ropes to cause a rope break. Mondo breaks the hold eventually. There's a rather dodgy smell in my flat all of a sudden. Havoc with a pin. Ready for the 2 count. What is that smell? Havoc with another pin. And that's it. Sorry, I got distracted by What's That Smell game, and Havoc picks up the victory over sick Nick Mondo. What a great victory for Jimmy Havoc. And as I've said in previous videos, Jimmy Havoc is he's a great deathmatch wrestler, but he's also a fantastic in-ring competitor as well. He has the ability to out-wrestle people, as he's shown here this evening. Into the pin. And there was the 2 count, sorry. And there was another 2 count. Again, the game loves to show us the old replays. Oh, it was his clothesline finisher maneuver. That's what it was. While I was playing What's That Smell, Jimmy Havoc caught him with the clothesline. And there's the 3 count. So Havoc victorious. As I said, he will be part of the Best of the Best tournament next week. However, himself and Nick Mondo, I think, will also be involved in an ultra-violent rules match involving Masada as well for that ultra-violent underground championship. So that all takes place, as I've said, next Friday, Saturday and Sunday, sorry. So as I said, be sure to check that out. If you subscribe, like I say, you get a notice every time I upload a video, so what more could you need? And our main event this evening will be Tommy Dreamer taking on Terry Funk. And here we go. Of course, this feud started about 3 or 4 weeks back now, when we saw Funky Dreams, Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer, take on Rob Van Dam and Sabu in the main event of Combat Zone Wrestling's Hardcore Television. The winning team would go on to face the Dudley Boys the next week for the Tag Team Championships. Unfortunately, partway through the match, Tommy Dreamer entered the ring and attacked his partner Terry Funk from behind, then left him there to face RVD and Sabu on his own. Funk made a novel attempt to carry on the match, however, obviously the 2-on-1 against 2 of the top guys here in Combat Zone Wrestling were just far too much for Terry Funk. And they ended up losing the match. From that, we did have a couple of we've had 3 Extreme Rules matches now between these two, I think. I think Dreamer's come out on top of every single one so far, so Terry Funk's really looking to try and pick up some sort of momentum. But I think Funk's necessarily had the best time in this universe mode. He started off in the first month with a feud against Cactus Jack, and I'm pretty sure he came out on the losing side of that feud as well, so he'd be hoping to try and pick up some victories, or at least get a victory in the big one at the Best of the Best pay-per-view, which of course is next weekend. I've plugged it enough times now, you should know that. Dream with a front chancery. There's a Russian leg sweep by Terry Funk. Funk gets around the back of Dreamer, but Dreamer with a great arm drag. Now Funk there with a scoop slam. Went for the elbow drop and catches a little bit of it, but Dreamer was on his way back up to his feet. Funk now with that chop across the chest of Dreamer. Catches Dreamer with that arm drag, and Dreamer's back up to his feet again. Catching the punch of Funk. The punch of Funk. That sounds like probably quite a good move. That sounds like a band, doesn't it? The punch of Funk. Dreamer now twisting the arm. I'm glad I managed to record the rest of this episode without any more problems. Of course, if you were listening at the beginning of the episode, I did say that I had about 3 or 4, maybe 5 attempts to try and get the tag team match to work. The game just completely crashes after I completely reset the PlayStation, start the match back up, start the game back up, sorry, then open the universe mode again. And it takes about 7 or 8 minutes between each individual try, so of course if it doesn't work 4 or 5 times, all of a sudden you've wasted half an hour to 40 minutes just restarting the PlayStation. And let's hope this doesn't last for too long. We've seen this quite a few times in the universe mode and in this game where the AI just likes to do endless pin reversals, and it looks like we're going to have another long one here. No, breakout. Must have been about a combination of 8 there maybe, but still nowhere near as bad as what we've seen in some of the other rosters. Dreamer locking in the abdominal stretch, but Funk was too close to the ropes, managed to get a hold of one. Quick roll up again by Dreamer, and I'm worried this is going to happen again now. Yes, it does. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, it's 12. I'm not even convinced that Tommy Dreamer's shoulders are on the mat. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18. By the way, 2K, you're taking the piss. And that's not the first time that's happened. That happens. It happens quite often. It happens a lot more than you'd ever wish it would do. 18 pins is a very long time, though. Big elbow to the back of the head of Dreamer. Funk catching around the front chancery now. Sends him off against that far rope, and now Dreamer comes back with a knee to the stomach. I'm just trying to think of the worst feuds I could ever put together for me commentating. I think Terry Funk versus CM Punk, I think that would kill me, that would. Funk and Punk, I think I would just get so tongue-tied that way through the match. Quick pin there by Tommy Dreamer in for the 1 count. You guys probably don't realise it, but I have actually got a stutter. But it's not too bad when I'm recording, because you have to accentuate your voice a bit and not try and sound like there's a power driver there by Tommy Dreamer. You've got to try and talk like you're really into it all the time, and sometimes I'm really into it, and sometimes I'm like, God, I can't believe I'm recording another bloody episode, but so it's not too bad. As Dreamer pin from the power driver, the 2 count, and now going to go for a Dreamer driver. There's the Death Valley driver, also known as the Dreamer driver. Taking his time here, brings Funk into the ring. Going to go for a pin. 1, 2, only a 2 count. So yeah, as I was saying, I do have a bit of a stutter, so I do get tongue-tied quite often and slur my words, which you've probably noticed in the past if you've watched a few of my videos. That was one of the ideas behind doing these videos, was just to sort of practice my speech quite a bit as well. There's Dreamer going for the pin. 1, 2, and no, only a 2 count. After that backbreaker, went for the dropkick to the knee, but Funk avoids it. Catch a Dreamer, that big clothesline. And Dreamer again with that driving move. Brings Funk into the middle of the ring, going to go for the pin. 1, 2, and no. Again, still, Terry Funk still in this one. The 127-year-old is fighting back still. Dreamer has Funk up, and how long is he going to fight for as he gets hit with that power driver? And Funk's been busted open as well. Funk is bloodied and bleeding in the centre of the ring. Tommy Dreamer pins him, and there we have our winner. Tommy Dreamer victorious here over Terry Funk once more. Oh, don't show us replays of this, please. This was the Dreamer driver, which I thought was going to finish the match, but Dreamer just took a few extra seconds to position Funk where he needed him. And that's what cost him, really. But this is that power driver. I think this must have been what busted Funk open at the same time. And he lands perfectly on his back in the centre of the ring. Tommy Dreamer with nothing else to do but to pin the man for the victory. Great victory here for Tommy Dreamer. He'll be very happy. He's absolutely wiping the floor with Terry Funk in this feud. And which all culminates, of course, next week at the Best of the Best pay-per-view. So that is the end of this episode of Combat Zone Wrestling Television, or Hardcore Television. Hope you've all enjoyed it. We've had some very interesting matches. It's been a lot longer this episode than normal. Just showing you how resilient some of these guys are, kicking out each other's finishes on several occasions. So yeah, as I've said, we are going to have our Best of the Best pay-per-view next Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So be sure to check out this playlist and the channel for those upcoming videos. Also, as I've said, check the description below for links to all of the other playlists I'm currently running on this universe mode. So I've been Shabby Gamer, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.